The Atlanta Falcons are in first place in the NFC South after a huge divisional win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams came into this game fighting for first place, and the Falcons came out victorious with a 16-13 win on the road. Their first win on the road this year, and it was thanks to elite play by Ryan Nielsen's defense. That has definitely been the Falcons' best thing this year. It's been their consistency on defense. Early on in the game, we realized there was something up with Bijan Robinson. He hardly featured at all today. So as a result, Tyler Algier got the workload, and Algier had a very big day. In the rushing attack, he had 59 yards on the ground, but he also had a big day through the air with a big reception. I think it was a 46-yard reception, so he ended with 53 receiving yards too. So good to see Algier get involved a lot better balance to the offense this week. Desmond Ridder only asked to throw the ball 25 times. We rushed the ball for 38 attempts for 156 yards at 4.1 yards a carry. And I think that's really impressive because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been really good at defending the run this year. Desmond Ridder gave the Falcons an early lead when he rushed a touchdown in himself. And for large parts of the game, these teams were neck and neck. It was 7-7 for a period, and then each side exchanged field goals. The Falcons looked the better team throughout. They dominated in total yards, 401 to 329. But the thing that kept the game close was 3 fumbles from Desmond Ridder. I've been critical of Ridder this year. The one that he got hit, and it was a strip sack whilst passing, that was not his fault. He got hit pretty quick. That was in the red zone, so that cost the Falcons points. Then the other one was a botched snap from Drew Dolman. I've seen some people defending Ridder, some people saying it's his fault. It's one of those plays. It can't afford to happen, whoever's fault it is. But it took points off the board again for the Falcons. And the third one was just an inexcusable play. Ridder rushing in on a read option play. He's going to the corner of the end zone. It's a good play by Winfield, but Ridder has it carrying it in his wrong hand, and he kind of tries to stroll into the end zone, and it gets punched out for a touchback. So we can't afford to turn the ball over because we're not a good enough team to turn the ball over multiple times and beat the better teams in this league. I will say Ridder looked better as a passer. A late connection with Kyle Pitts set up a 51-yard Younghoe Koo field goal to win the game for the Falcons. We were tied at 13. After Ridder's fumble in the end zone, the Bucs had a chance to go down and try and win the game, but the Falcons' defense held stout like they have all year and got the ball back to the Falcons offense with the game tied at 13, and Ridder, to his credit, found Pitts for that big reception to get the Falcons in field goal range. I think it was maybe a 39-yard connection with Pitts. So it's great to be top of the division, but I think we just got to clean up the turnovers. We can't keep doing this. And I know there's a lot of fans who are defending Ridder, the Ridder Defense League, I like to call them, but they seem to give Ridder all the praise for his decent play, but don't give him any criticism for really poor mistakes. If Ridder can play like he did today in the pass game, and in defense of Ridder, in previous weeks, Arthur Smith has asked him to do too much. So if he can just ask him to throw it 25 times, be a run-heavy attack, that's something we need to do. Ridder can try and limit his mistakes. He didn't throw any interceptions. The Buccaneers have a decent defense. AJ Terrell, I thought, struggled early on with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but we eventually tightened that up and we clamped down on them, and they only scored 3 points in the second half, and that was on that late field goal drive, the Bucs' final drive of the game. The Falcons done a good job on the ground, limiting them to 73 yards. Baker Mayfield threw a late interception before their final drive. It was where Ridder had fumbled late in the fourth with us up 13-10, and Mayfield was driving, and Richie Grant stepped up and done a great play. He intercepted the ball, but the Falcons then went 3-and-out. Arthur Smith got real conservative there. I think he was feeling dodgy about his quarterback. We punted it back to them, and then Mayfield led them into field goal range. The Falcons' defense managed to get pressure again, which is good to see. They ended the game with 6 quarterback hits, 5 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. Lorenzo Carter, Calais Campbell, and David Onyemata all with a sack, so fair play to those guys. I thought Zach Harrison had a good chance to get one, but he whiffed on the play. Mayfield made a miss at one point of the second half, I think it was. Just delighted to be in first place. I know people think I'm a bit pessimistic, but I think we just need to ask Ridder not to do so much. We have the Titans next week. The Titans were still unsure of whether they will or won't have Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. So if Tannehill can't go, it's a great opportunity for the Falcons to go 5-3. I know the Bucs have the Bills next week, which is a hard game, and the Saints have the Colts next week, which is also a hard game. So those two teams could possibly lose next week, and if they could, if the Falcons can beat the Titans, hopefully, if Tannehill can't go, that should be a lot more easy to win, because Malik Willis looks like a very poor quarterback. But the Falcons hopefully can get Bijan out on the field. I thought it was strange that whilst we were setting up the field goal attempt, they gave Bijan Robinson the carry. He apparently had a headache, which hopefully he gets better. But I just found it strange, because if he's sick, why are you giving him the final carry of the game? It seemed like a bit of a weird one, but that's that. Drake London had 6 receptions for 54 yards, nearly had a touchdown. Winfield made a great play. Corner throw from Desmond Ridder. Winfield managed to get his hands on it. But I thought the Falcons played a very good game, and if they can clean up their turnovers, they would have won that comfortably. We'll see if next week is the game the Falcons don't turn the ball over, and we'll enjoy this week being in first place. Go Falcons, rise up, and hopefully we keep playing good football.